Hey there, fellow classic comic collectors. As always, I'm Scott Harris King, and today I'm really excited because round one of the Great Dollar Bin Trading Challenge is over, and round two is about to begin. So, what's the Great Dollar Bin Trading Challenge? That's an attempt to take 20 books that I've gotten out of dollar bins and trade them all the way up to get a Golden Age Mega Key, All Star Comics number 8, the first appearance of Wonder Woman. Along the way, besides trading with you guys, I'm also going to be doing dollar bin dives at shows and at stores and at flea markets and antique stores all across the area to find more dollar bin finds. And as I find this buried treasure in those dollar bins, I'm going to bring that stuff right to you and trade it. And as I'm doing the trading, anything that goes in to the trading pool doesn't come back out. I'm not keeping any books for myself that are traded to me. Once they're in the pool, they're available to all of you to trade. I'm not going to take any books for myself until I get to the end. My hope is that I can find cool books that you need, trade them to you in exchange for the stuff that you have that might be worth money but doesn't fit in your collection, and I can keep moving the stuff around to get everybody the books they want and keep moving up that total dollar value until I can finally trade for that All-Star Comics number 8. Is it crazy? Can it be done? Can I actually take dollar bin books and with your help trade them all the way up to get an All-Star Comics number 8? Well, we're gonna find out. So let's go back to the start. Back in round one, here are the books that we started with. These are the 20 books. You'll notice there's a couple lots books here, but these are the 20 pulled out of dollar bins that I started with round one as my initial seed books in the trade kitty to try and trade up with you guys. And we have here the list of the books. I've also included a basic rough estimate of the fair market value at the time that we're doing this, which you can see was $725 or a per book average of $36.25. Now, I'm listing that for two reasons. The first is that having the individual trade values is really helpful in terms of a starting position when we start talking about trades. So if you send me a trade request or a suggestion or offer, we'll have that as a starting point, and you'll know before you do it that I'm looking for $50 for an X-Men 244 or whatever it is. The other way is just to track how well we're doing. So with this starting fair market value of $725, we obviously have a long way to go. Right now, I think we're going to get a All-Star Comics number 8, a complete copy in any condition. I think we're probably going to need to get that up to at least $18,000, and there's no telling what the market's going to be at by the time we get there, because that's going to take a lot of trading and a lot of dollar bin diving. But I think we can do it, and we're off to a great start. I've got a bunch of great trade offers. In fact, I had so many trade offers that I had to actually turn a couple of people down because multiple people were asking for the same books. And as I went over the rules in the first video, I'm doing a first come, first serve in terms of offers. So if whoever gets in there first with an offer for a book, I'll deal with them. And if we can't come to agreement, then I'll move to the second person. I'm not going to have bidding wars or anything like that. That might help the overall amount, but I think it will hurt in terms of trying to foster like a fun, friendly attitude. I don't want this to be a competition so much as I want this to be good for all parties involved. So with that in mind, of the initial 20 books, we did trade 14 in round one. So let's take a look at the list here. I'm going to change it to the list of, you can see exactly what books were traded. It was really exciting. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you all the new books that came in. I'll go over each trade as we go. I'll tell you which books from this list, or the ones that went out, which ones came in response to that in those trades. I'll have a new list towards the end of the video where it'll show all the 20 plus books that are now available with for round 2 trading, and then we'll kick that off. I'll have a complete list of all the rules posted down below. I tried to put some together to just ensure that it's not just fair, but also fun for everybody and fosters a good sense of community. So with that in mind, let's go right to the trades and take a look at all the new books that came in. And the very first trade, I gotta say, I was so excited by, because it's exactly what I'm trying to do with this trading challenge. It made me so happy to make this trade with ICC Trombone. Thanks so much for doing the trade. I traded to him a Megaton number 2. Now, Megaton number 2 is the first cameo appearance of Savage Dragon. First full appearances in Megaton number 3, and then of course he's in Savage Dragon after that. And George had a Megaton number 3 and a complete run of all 250 plus issues of Savage Dragon. The only thing he was missing was Megaton number 2, which I happen to have, that I pulled out of a dollar bin. And so this is exactly what I wanted to do. He got the book that he needed for his collection. He traded me some really cool stuff that I'm now going to trade to you guys. And he sent me 2 books in exchange for the Megaton number 2. The first here, very exciting. It is Flash number 92, the first appearance of Bart Allen. It's a really nice copy. I won't say it's like a 9.8, but it looks very clean. It's probably in the 9 range, or maybe 9 plus. I don't like to grade books above 9, so let's just call it a 9 and leave it at that. So really exciting. But he actually sent me 2 books in exchange for the Megaton number 2. So the first is the Flash 92, and the second is this really cool, really nice copy of Micronauts number 1, the first appearance of the Micronauts. This is also a more difficult to find Whitman variant. It's got the blank UPC box. It's got the Whitman triangle diamond up here. This came in a 3-pack from Whitman. The Whitman Micronauts 3-pack are not reprints. A lot of people think that they're reprints because there were so many like Star Wars 1 through 3 reprints. And they also had a 3-pack with issues 4 to 6 with reprints. So there's this idea that they're all reprints. They're not. So this is actually a more difficult to find variant. If you look on eBay, you'll find a lot less of the Whitman version than the regular version. This is a nice copy. Looks to me like it's probably in the 7.5 to 8 range. Trying to be as conservative as possible. But a really, really nice copy of Micronauts number 1. So thanks again, ICC Trombone, sending me these 2 books in exchange for the Megaton number 2. And again, I was so happy to get someone the exact book that they wanted, that I pulled out of a dollar bin, and now it's in their collection, being loved. And I now have these 2 cool books that I can find new homes for more people that need these books. So it's just really great. So thanks again. Now the second trade, also very exciting. I was really happy. I got a message from Chuck White. Chuck, thank you very much for trading. And Chuck had asked for a couple books. One of them was already gone at that point. But what I traded to him was the Wonder Woman number 204, which is the first appearance in Nubia. And the copy had some issues that I made clear in the first video. It had a couple panels that had been cut out. The cover was also detached. And had a spine split. So it was a very low grade, technically incomplete copy. In addition to that, I traded to him the Marvel Premiere set, issues 57 to 60, with a 4-issue arc, which is the first United States comic book appearance of Doctor Who. And so in exchange for those 2 books, Chuck sent me this great lot of books. Really nice copies of the entire Born Again arc, issues 227, 228, 229, 230, 231, 232, and 233 with the first appearances of Nuke. And of course, this is an all-time classic Daredevil storyline written by Frank Miller with art by the incredible David Mazzucchelli, who for my money is better than Frank Miller. It's just, in terms of art, just great. So all-time great story. This will be available, the whole set is one lot. And again, I really appreciate the trade, Chuck. It's great, and I'm hoping I can find a big Daredevil fan or a Frank Miller fan that will want to have trade these. So these will be available now. So thanks again for that great trade. And we're back with the rest of the books here. First up, we got a trade from Shaxper. Now, Shaxper, I traded to him the DC Superstar 17 with the first Huntress, which is a low-grade copy. He also wanted only part of one of the lots, so I had listed the Copper Age Speculation lot, which had the first appearance of Rocketeer, the first appearance of Grimjack, and Grimjack #1. Now, he didn't want the Grimjack #1, so what I'm going to do is we're going to keep that in the pool, but in exchange for those other books, we have this group here. There's some interesting and cool stuff. It's just cool to see the new books coming in. So first up, Justice League of America 220. This is a book that's it's only worth a few dollars, but it could be a really interesting speculation book, or if you're a fan of Black Canary, it's a must-have, because it's basically the first appearance of the Bronze Copper Age Black Canary 2 Dinah Laurel Lance. It's very complicated. It's too complicated to get into, really, but the important part is, in this issue, they established that there are two Black Canaries, the Golden Age Black Canary and her daughter. And even post-Crisis, they continued that in continuity. So the concept of having the two Black Canaries is really important. And this is the issue where we discover that the Black Canary we've been following all through the 70s is actually Dinah Laurel Lance. So it's considered to be her first appearance. So again, it's considering the importance of the book, it's still really cheap, so it's a good spec book for people to pick up. Speaking of which, a little bit more valuable, but still way undervalued, is Magic #1. Now, this, for all intents and purposes, is the first appearance of Ileana Rasputin, aka Magic. I think this goes under the radar because she did appear on like 2 pages of Giant Size X-Men #1 as a little child, like as a 5-year-old, in the sequence where we meet Colossus. And then years and years later, this comes out here with her second appearance, and this is the storyline where she's kidnapped by whatever his name is, Belasco, and brought to the demon realm, and she's trained to become this witch. And so this is the first appearance of Magic, the way things go these days, you could call it the first full appearance of Ileana Rasputin. It's overshadowed by Giant Size X-Men #1, but in terms of this character, I think it's more important. So it's really undervalued. So hopefully that'll find a good home. Next up, we have from 1964. It's a lower grade, sort of a 4.5 copy of Mighty Samson #1 from Gold Key. Gold Key had all the, these really cool, like, painted covers, and this was a popular ongoing series through the 60s. So here's the first issue of Mighty Samson. Nice Silver Age minor key. Jumping ahead to the 90s, an absolute iconic book. It's Rye #0, the first appearance of Bloodshot. And it's a really nice copy. It's got a couple spine ticks, but that's about it. So really nice copy, and of course, iconic cover. I think people might be buying low right now on this because the Bloodshot movie came out and was a disappointment last year with Vin Diesel, but I wouldn't sleep on this book. Vin Diesel has a history of really latching his teeth into these things and not letting go, which is why we ended up with several Riddick movies. So I think right now this is actually undervalued and has some growth potential. It had gone way up with the movie announcement, and then when the movie flopped, it crashed. But now I think that means now's the time to buy. So this will be a good deal, and it's a cool book to have. I don't think I've ever actually owned a copy of this. Finally, seminal 80s work. It is Lone Wolf and Cub #1. This is from First, and it's a really seminal work that's influenced a lot of people, and the most important among those, of course, is Frank Miller, who drew the cover. So we have the first issue of the U.S. Adaptation, not adaptation, but translation of Lone Wolf and Cub with the Frank Miller cover from 1987 when he was really at his prime. So thank you, Shaxper. A lot of really cool books here going into the pool. And hopefully these will find a good home for someone. Next up, we have a trade that I did with Kyle, Silver Knight Kyle. Thanks very much. And Kyle I sent him several books, and he sent me back several cool books. First of all, there are 3 Jack Kirby Fourth World books. We got Forever People number 4, New Gods number 8, and New Gods number 10. For all intents and purposes, these are the building blocks of the DC universe. Everything that's come after these is milked Kirby's universe for all it's worth. And what I'm going to do is I actually have a number of other issues of both Forever People and New Gods that I pulled out of dollar bins. So rather than just have these sort of as orphan issues from these titles, I'm actually going to, when we get to the next part where I go through all what's available, I'm going to add to this lot. There's going to be a big lot of awesome classic Kirby Fourth World stuff. Next up, Kyle also sent me, and this warms the cockles of my heart. You know how much I love my romance books. It's a Young Romance 172. It's a nice, I would say, mid-grade copy. It's got a little foxing at the bottom and some issues around the staples, but it is a nice, solid mid-grade. It's one of these big DC 64-page issues, so really cool. I think I might actually need this. I'm only down to like 13 issues of the DC run of Young Romance, and I think this is one of them. So this is my first big test, but as I promised, I'm not taking this for myself. This is going to stay in the trading pool. I know people have been waiting to get some romance in this trading pool because that's, I guess, what my channel is most known for, is the romance books. So here it is, Young Romance number 172. Just taking a quick look at the cover to see if I can identify who the artist is, and right off the top of my head, I can't. But really cool book. And then finally, Kyle sent me 2 really sweet books from the golden age of comics. It is Red Rider number 65 from 1948, and Red Rider number 85 from 1950. Both really solid, again, lower mid-grade books. They look to be in the 4.5, probably 5 range, 4.5 to 5, in that range, I would say. Really great art by the underrated Fred Harmon. I actually really dig the figure work here on Red Rider's Sidekick. And then again, here's the other one. So I'm going to have these together as one lot. So I know we've got some Western comics fans on here if you want to do some trading for some Golden Age classics. Here we have 2 issues of Red Rider. So thanks very much, Silver Knight Kyle. I appreciate the trade. Finally, we're going to end with a bang. These come from MRP, and I traded a couple books to MRP. Iron Man 118 with the first appearance of James Rhodes. House of Mystery 204 signed by Bernie Wrightson, House of Mystery 198 in high grade, and also Brave and the Bold 200 in high grade. I traded all of those books to MRP and got 2 in return. Some really cool books I think you guys are going to be excited for. First of all, here's a really nice copy of Batman 666, featuring the first Damian Wayne as Batman. Really cool book. It's kind of cool that, one thing that's really cool for me is just having these books, which I've never owned. I would never have had this comic. And I'm even more excited again to then send it out to someone that actually collects Batman, because I never had this because I don't collect Batman. But I know someone out there is going to be really excited. So again, really nice copy of Batman 666. And then finally, here is the new big ticket item in the pool. It is a nice, say, 6.5 or so copy of What If, number 10. What If Jane Foster had found the Hammer of Thor. This book has been going crazy in anticipation for the new Thor movie. I think there's still a lot of growth because that movie does not come out until next year. It's going to be a full year before that movie's out. So, first Jane Foster as Thor, What If number 10. Again, it's a really nice copy. It actually looks higher than the grade I just gave it. Looks significant, quite a bit higher. The issue with all of these actually is that it's a square bound, but it's square bound with the big staples, and so the staples have a bit of push through on the front and back cover, leading to a little wrinkling. It's really hard on a technical level to figure out the grading on those. So even though this seems to be more like a 7.5, I'm calling it a 6.5 just to be safe. But really cool book for Thor fans, really cool book for speculators, and just a book that's just completely on fire. So this is going to the top of our list right now. Okay, so here's the new list of books. I'll put it up now. As you can see, we've moved the needle just the tiniest bit. We were at 725 to begin with. Now we're at 750. So we moved up just a little bit. There's a lot more stratification going on. So we have previously that Spawn number 1. You'll see marked in blue are the books that in some form or another are remaining from last time. The Spawn number 1 previously was at book number 1, so it had the lowest value on the list. Now it's down at 10. So I've got a whole bunch of books in at lower price points, but we've also added some individual books and some lots up at the higher end as well. So it's really stretching things out. Now, my goal for this time around, if I can do it, it's all going to depend on what people want and what people don't want. But I would really love to do some combo deals. Take some of those books between $5 and $20, books 1 to 11, and package 3 or 4 or 5 of them and trade them to one of you for just one book and sort of get this compressed. That'll open up more slots as well for me to add more books from my dollar bin finds. There's one new book here, which you can see at number 15, which I'll be showing off, which is a dollar bin find just from this week. And so I have a lot more dollar bin books that I'm waiting to add to the pool. But again, under the rules, I can only add them if I drop below 20. So this time, since we've combined a couple things into lots, I ended up at 19, which allowed me to add one book in. So that's my goal for next time. Of course, we're trying to raise that total dollar amount. And the two ways we can do it is if I may be able to trade up for higher value, that's one way, or if I can consolidate and add in more value by adding new books from my dollar bin finds into it, that'll add value that way. So that's my hope for this time. It's my strategy. See if I can trade 3, 4, 5 books for one, consolidate, end up with some multiple free slots to add in some new dollar bin books. But I hope you find some cool stuff. I'm just going to show the books off real quick. Book number 1, it's Justice League of America number 220, which I have priced at $5. Number 2, Magic number 1, trade value of $10. I do think this book is a serious steal. I really do. Similarly, Rye number 1, it's kind of all over the price with pricing right now, but it's dropped way down since the movie. So I'm only having this at $12. And at that price, I mean, how could you go wrong? It's just an iconic book of the 90s. Book number 4, I've got Mighty Samson number 1. I know I've got people out there that like this sort of thing, these sort of cool, offbeat, Silver Age titles. So it's a lower grade copy. It's probably a solid 4.5. But how can you go wrong for just $15? Also at the $15 mark, we have several books. It's Lone Wolf and Cub number 1, 1987, with the Frank Miller cover. Book number 6, it's Young Romance number 172. Again, mid-grade. Book number 7, so this is the Grimjack number 1. This is left from last time. Previously, it was part of a 3-book lot where it was $45 for the whole group because they were priced at $15 each. Since those other 2 are gone, we're keeping this on the board but it's by itself now, priced at $15 trading value. Hit Comics 53. I actually lowered the value of this. I think I overpriced it last time. I overvalued it. I had it at 20 the first time. I've dropped that down to 15. It is a cool Golden Age superhero book, but it is missing one page. It makes it a little bit difficult to value. I think there's $15 worth of entertainment value inside this book, though. It's just really cool to have these cool Golden Age books. Micronauts #1, a nice copy, and again, this is the Whitman variant, which is harder to find. I have this priced at $18 right now, and this is a book that has been on the cusp of getting hot for a while now. It hasn't quite got there, but it's just a really cool book, and the first arc, the first 12 issues or so are absolutely fantastic. Book number 10, we still have Spawn #1 available. Really nice copy of Spawn #1. No, at 11 is the G.I. Joe sealed 5-pack. And this has, again, for some reason, its second printings of issues 2, 6, 8, 11, and 12 or something. It's weird, but what difference does it make what's in it? What really matters is you've got the cool 5-pack sealed bag that it's still in. We got some new stuff coming up here. Batman 666, which I have priced at $30. I'm going these pricings. Most of them are based off of actual eBay sales, with a couple of exceptions. Some of the Golden Age stuff, I'm pricing more trade value just based on what I want to get out of it, as opposed to actual sales, because that can be really random on eBay. But here we have Batman 666, the first Damian Wayne as Batman. Flash #92, the first appearance of Bart Allen. Very exciting. Book number 13. I have that with a trade value of $35. X-Men 244, still a holder from last time. Really nice copy. First appearance of Jubilee. Trade value, have it $50. Here's the new edition. I just found this in a dollar bin over the weekend, and it is Sweet Tooth #1, Vertigo 2009. This is a mid-grade copy. It's about a 6.5. It's got one large ding on the spine. It's got a non-color breaking bend through the whole top corner. I think with a press or just being cared for, because it was just loose in a box with no bag or backing board. I think this can be improved maybe up to an 8. I think that's probably the ceiling based on the spine stuff. This book is red hot right now because the Netflix TV show has been announced, and Vertigo books from 2009, not the largest print run. So I was excited to find this, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys and add it to the trading pool. Sweet Tooth #1. Here is a Golden Age 2-for-1 classic books, and those are Red Rider #65 and Red Rider #85. Some solid, around 4.5 or 4. Great Golden Age Western classic stuff here. I have this trade value. I'm asking for $50 for the pair of these. Coming up at #17, it's another lot. We have several lots here that have managed to end up with, and that is the full run, really nice copies of the classic Daredevil Born Again series. Based on eBay sales, I have that lot with a trade value of $55. Number 18, I've cobbled together a Jack Kirby lot. Now, as a holdover from last time, we have the high-grade unread copy, new old stock, OMAC #1. And I had gotten in, as we just saw, a couple issues of New Gods and issue of Forever People. So what I decided to do is, because I've been putting together a lot of Jack Kirby DC stuff out of dollar bins for a little while, I'm going to add in almost the whole rest of the OMAC run. It's just used 2 through 7. Grades are all over the place. Some of them are really nice, some of them less so. We're also going to have New Gods #5. New Gods #7. New Gods #8, which we just got in trade. Here's a really nice New Gods #9. New Gods #10. And in addition, we're going to have almost a complete run of Forever People Here's Forever People number 2, number 3, number 4, which we just received in the trade, number 5, number 6, 7, 8. This is a lower grade copy. Grades are a little all over the place. Number 10. And a really nice copy of number 11. How nice? Well, the previous seller had $30 written on the bag. It ended up in a dollar bin. So yeah, we have almost a complete run of Forever People, almost a complete run of OMAC, and about half the run, a little less than half the run of the original New Gods series. And putting that all together into one Jack Kirby DC lot, which I have conservatively priced with a $95 trade value. Just a lot of great stuff, and I haven't really looked through them too carefully for like first appearances or anything other than obviously OMAC's first appearance. But with all the way that DC is continuing to mine Jack Kirby's ideas, who knows what's in there for the future. Then we have, as a holdover, it is Usagi Yojimbo Summer Special number 1. Really nice copy. One thing to note on this copy, there is a little bit of rust on the staples. I've talked to some Usagi Yojimbo experts, and they agree that a lot of copies of this have rusty staples for some reason. Something to do with the manufacturing, the type of staples used, I don't know, but for some reason a high percentage of these have rusty staples. But it is something that I want to note, because other than that, this is probably, in the 9. I don't like to grade above a 9, but it's at least a 9 or above. Rusty staples, I have knocked it down into the 8.5 range. And then finally, just in What If, number 10, the first Jane Foster as Thor. So there you have it. Really enjoyed doing all the trades with everyone. It was really cool to be able to help people get the books they want. It was really cool to see all the new stuff come in. We didn't really make a huge dent in terms of our ultimate goal here of getting up to $25,000 to get the All-Star number 8. But the tap's open, the comics are flowing, and again, hopefully this time we can do some more trading. I wanna consolidate some of these lower price books, do a 3 or 4 for 1, and get some higher tier books, open up some slots so I can add in some of the cool books that are waiting in the wings that I've found in dollar bins. And I can't wait to see what kind of trade offers you guys come up with for me. I can't wait to see what books come in next, and I'm really looking forward to getting more cool books out to people who want them. So thanks very much for the support. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.